So far, this menu links to 5 movies. Let me just close the inspector to make a little bit more room. And now what I want to do is make a link to a slideshow. There's 2 ways that you can make links to a slideshow. One of them is if you already know the photos and if you already have selected the photos that are going to comprise your slideshow, you can simply drag and drop those photos. Let me do that. I'm going to go into the Photos pane and I'm going to open up this particular event. I'm not going to copy all of the photos though. I'm just going to make a selection. And for this, I'm going to press on the Command key and click on a few photos. And the reason why I'm pressing on the Command key is because the photos that I'm selecting are not in sequence. So that way I can make a selection of just a few of them without selecting all of them in between. So now that I have a few photos selected, I'm just going to drag my multiple selection, as you can see, 5 photos, and I'm going to drop them again where you get to see that there's a blue outline for the background of the menu. When you see the blue outline and you're dragging more than one photo, iDVD will create a slideshow for you. Again, make sure that you don't drag and drop on top of a drop zone. If you do that, you will be replacing the content of that drop zone. So I'm just going to let it go where I see the blue outline. And as soon as I let go, iDVD creates a new button. By default calls it My Slideshow. And the slideshow is created. Now I mentioned that there were 2 ways that you could make slideshows. This way was one, where you make the selection of the photos first and then drag and drop. Typically, the simplest way of doing it is by dragging a whole event or by dragging an album that you may have already created in an iPhoto. The other method, when you don't know what photos you want to include in there and you want to make a link to the slideshow, goes like this. From this plus button on the left-hand side, if you pull down, there's multiple options here. One of them just reads Add Slideshow. And what this does is it adds a new slideshow, but with no content. Now in this case, this thing is getting so crowded that it's actually overlapping the drop zone. So let me just undo this. And I'm also going to undo this other one here. And the only reason why I'm doing that is just to gain a little bit more space. So I'm going to do this again, Add Slideshow. So this new My Slideshow, in this particular case, is empty.